During the California gold rush, hundreds of thousands of people dropped everything and rushed west chasing wealth. Almost all of them came back dead broke. The real fortunes were made by the guys selling shovels, pickaxes, and tents to the desperate miners doing the digging. Today the world has a new fever, artificial intelligence, and while tech giants like OpenAI, Google, and Microsoft are lighting hundreds of billions of dollars on fire in a war for the future, one man has already won. His name is Jensen Huang. While everyone argues themselves hoarse about whose AI will rule the world, Jensen is quietly standing off to the side, collecting the checks. Today we break down how a guy in a leather jacket built a monopoly hiding in plain sight, how the most powerful corporations on Earth ended up completely dependent on a single supplier, and why this may be the most terrifying business empire of our century. Survival and the death march. To understand NVIDIA, we need to rewind to its darkest moment. It's 1997. The company is on the edge of bankruptcy. 2 weeks of cash left in the bank. Analysts are already writing obituaries, which for the record is never a great sign. The graphics card market is completely overheated. About 70 companies are fighting for gamers' wallets. Sitting on the throne is an arrogant, untouchable giant called 3DFX. You couldn't beat them with a better product. They had more money, their own factories, and a death grip on game developers. So, Jensen decided to stop playing the game everyone else was playing. Back then, building a new microchip took about 18 months. Huang made a radical call. NVIDIA would ship new products every 6 months, 3 times faster than the entire industry. How? 2 steps. First, parallel development. 3 engineering teams worked on 3 generations of chips simultaneously, constantly leapfrogging each other's schedules. Second, no factories of their own. NVIDIA would only design the architecture. Manufacturing went to Taiwan. While competitors burned billions on giant factories, Jensen rented someone else's machines and quietly took over the market. NVIDIA spent everything on engineering talent and speed. Huang forced the industry to run a marathon at a sprinter's pace. The competition simply ran out of air. By 2000, 3DFX collapsed from total financial exhaustion. Huang coldly bought their remains for just $70 million and 1 million shares. This allowed NVIDIA to break the $1 billion annual revenue mark for the first time in 2001. Imagine that moment. The guy Wall Street declared a walking dead man calmly acquires the brand of the arrogant competitor who almost killed him. Classic. That's when he learned the defining rule of technology. Speed isn't just a competitive advantage. Speed is a weapon. The Trojan Horse. By the mid-2000s, NVIDIA was the king of gaming. Market cap stabilized at around $5 to $7 billion. Any normal CEO would have stopped there, pulled profits, paid dividends, bought sports cars, gone on CNBC to talk about discipline. But Jensen saw the glass ceiling. Video games were too small for an empire. In 2006, he makes a move that nearly got him destroyed by investors. He starts pouring about $500 million a year into a software platform called CUDA, while the company's total annual revenue was only around $3 billion. He was burning 1/6 of his revenue on a project nobody believed in. Wall Street genuinely thought Jensen had lost his mind. What did he actually do? A regular CPU is like one brilliant mathematician. It solves complex problems strictly one at a time. An NVIDIA GPU is an army of 10,000 simple workers. They do basic things, like rendering pixels in a shooter, but they do them all simultaneously. Huang decided to teach that army to solve equations in physics, chemistry, and biology. Then he made CUDA completely free and hardwired it into every single chip they sold. Costs rose, profits fell. Investors were furious. Why are you making gamers pay for supercomputer features they will never need? And Jensen just smiled and thought, give it a few years, guys. While the market saw gaming hardware, Huang was quietly building the language that AI would one day speak. He sacrificed billions in profit for a full decade, giving this technology away for free to universities worldwide. Wall Street hated this decision. 10 years later, they'd be praying to it. By the time the AI boom arrived, switching away from NVIDIA had become an expensive and politically impossible move inside large organizations. They thought NVIDIA made chips. NVIDIA made dependency. Imagine transferring all your photos and apps from Android to iPhone. Now scale that to a Fortune 500 company. That migration costs billions of dollars and years of time. Nobody does it. The trap snapped shut. Jensen sat back and waited. The race of fear. Then the world changed. It's 2012. Students at the University of Toronto build AlexNet, a neural network that revolutionizes machine vision. The most remarkable part is how they built it. Not on supercomputers the size of a building, but on 2 NVIDIA gaming cards using that same free software called CUDA. 2 gaming cards did what corporate labs spent years trying to accomplish. The entire industry collectively said, "Oh." Jensen immediately pivots the corporation. In 2016, he personally hand-delivers the world's first AI supercomputer, the DGX-1, to the cramped office of a young startup, handing it directly to Elon Musk and Sam Altman. That startup was called OpenAI. This decision was the catalyst. By 2021, NVIDIA's market cap broke the $500 billion mark. And then the real madness began. Fast forward to today. Google, Meta, and Microsoft are buying chips by the warehouse, 100,000 at a time. Yes, competitors exist. But NVIDIA remains the unquestioned standard of the market. Why are Zuckerberg and Pichai willing to pay any price? Because this stopped being a technology race. This is a race driven by fear. The Silicon Valley rule now sounds simple. Miss your chip order today, your competitor trains their model and hits the market before you tomorrow. And your business simply ceases to exist. Everyone wanted to build AI. Jensen charged rent. The hardware toll booth. To understand how NVIDIA extracts money from the market, look at the numbers. You can't train a ChatGPT-level model on one graphics card. You need tens of thousands of devices running as one brain. So in 2019, Huang acquires Mellanox for $7 billion, gaining control over the ultra-high-speed cables connecting them. The entire circulatory system of AI now belongs to him. The economics become obscene. Manufacturing one flagship chip costs NVIDIA roughly $3,000 to $5,000. They sell it to corporations for $30,000, sometimes $40,000. Gross margins hold above 75%. If data centers brought the company about $3 billion a year in 2019, today that segment generates tens of billions in profit per quarter. This isn't a business anymore. This is legal robbery, with a smile and a leather jacket. NVIDIA became a toll booth on the highway to the future. If you want to participate in tomorrow's economy, you pay Jensen Huang's tax. The shadow of success. But even this monopoly, which is worth trillions of dollars today, has vulnerabilities. First, physical risk. NVIDIA manufactures nothing with its own hands. Every chip is printed in Taiwan. One geopolitical conflict in that region, and the global AI industry shuts down within 24 hours. Jensen has zero control over that. Second, they became prisoners of their own genius. Wall Street has already baked infinite growth into that price. If corporations cut server budgets for even a couple of months, the company could lose hundreds of billions in market value in a single trading day. They cannot slow down, and they definitely cannot become boring. Jensen Huang didn't invent artificial intelligence. He didn't write the algorithms changing the world in front of our eyes. He built the only road into that future and placed a toll gate across it. Just like that guy in 1849 who sold the shovels. While Silicon Valley chased intelligence, Jensen sold the electricity. Others tried to build a brain. NVIDIA just sent the invoice. This was Broke Genius. Subscribe.